the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Now, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, the quarterly review on Ghana's economy. Now, Omo Akasa ewo Washington, D.C. through a press briefing by IMF's Director of Communications, Julie Kozak. Now, according to the IMF, Omo a projected Ghana's public debt to GDP ratio say ebe end the year 2025 at 60%. Hence, according to the IMF, Ghana's public debt to settle at around 60% of gross domestic product by the close of 2025. The IMF, the reason why GDP ratio about 60% is as a result of the country's recent debt restructuring program under the previous administration. And according to the IMF, the debt restructuring program is the main driver behind the significant decline in Ghana's debt levels. Speaking at the press briefing in Washington, D.C. on Thursday, September 11th, 2025, IMF's Director of Communications, Julie Kozak, explained that the restructuring has materially eased Ghana's debt burden. According to IMF Director of Communications, now Ghana has $13 billion of debt referral from the Eurobond market and countries like Singapore, Korea, and Switzerland. And again, Ghana has some $30 billion of debt relief from countries like China, Japan, Germany, and France. Mami enchire mu asana matoaso. International Monetary Fund and almost say omu bu Ghana yen sikasem entutu ye hon konta for the this quarter ye womu yi. And omu chire mu say yen gross domestic product nyoma ede kwa mono ne koton sika ba o man yi mu ene ka o man yi die no se omu bu nkonta no sese a 2025 yi kwa na wie ye no na eso ate edi aba 60%, and ye was 60% of our gross domestic product in relation to our debt. And IMF which them say, sa eye eniti sami ya o my Ghana and sabeka by the close of 2025 no. Ni nyina ejina debt restructuring program wa abanda dano esha asie se otu ho anamo enu titiri wonti nene Ghana yen GDP eba be jina 60%. Ena panyinipa oda International Monetary Fund omo kasa edema ekuo na no eye Julie Kozak echirimu say sa debt restructuring program no abanda da no sha ase tu ho anamo ya Ghana for do na no de yensa gu yeti sun ye na the nei abanya eti akodwa so ejina so de ye propaganda say yewra kelo foriata edi Ghana wu enti yanche no kra nyene nkwanfa mfiri ni nsem no. According to Julie Kozak, emu edibu Ghana ni enei posia boro $13 billion ya nanka o man ya wose ye sebese no edi free miaye te se Eurobond market ete se o man bi te se Singapore, o man bi te se Korea, eno o man bi te se Switzerland no ye nya de friend no debt deferral ti ye ka nanka wose nka 2025 ye hyase ye sebese no amanya hunu ye mobo atwe di kwa nachi ya omo maintain percentages ahodo ane ye interest na was etua was aka iso. This is as a result of the debt restructuring program. And at this same IMF Director of Communications, Julie Kozak say amani be horum kra no mo de kano dodo na chicha ya eno keka bomu a ne bo esom over $30 billion. Amani be to say China, Japan, Germany, and France. Until the 30 billion you can 13 billion ya na say some over $43 billion and or may win high in terms of debt as a result of the debt restructuring program initiated by Yera Kenoforiata and the previous administration. This is according to IMF's Director of Communications, Julie Kozak. The IMF continued that Ghana's exports only account for 15% of the country achieving a 60% of gross domestic product by the close of 2025. And IMF say Ghana ye nyoma edi from mayimu de kwama no ne koton masika bo mayimu et say gold, yen bauxite, diamond, cocoa, timber, cashew, shea butter, any de kika ho nyina no e contribute to just 20% of yen 60% GDP yen seka. Naturally say according to the IMF 80% of the contributing factor to say Ghana yen GDP drop about 60% no the debt restructuring program initiated by Ken Ofori-Atta, the finance minister then, and the previous administration. She noted that the recent debt restructuring agreement has significantly improved debt service indicators for Ghana. According to Mrs. Kozak, the improved debt outlook provides room for economic rebound and critical investment inflows. This drop can be described as a specifically steep reduction in Ghana's public debt. She added, describing it as a meaningful step towards restoring fiscal sustainability. Looking ahead, the IMF stressed that sustaining these gains will require continued reforms and not artificial manipulation. The IMF asa kan ha say anamoa abanda dani tuye say jumedi e friend debt restructuring program ase nei ama Ghana ye ho ahenha yen ni esika sam tutuye ni pagya de mu no IMF chire mu a age say ye den hyehyeye ahodo bisa gu akwan mu ne boayen na emomu no say artificial manipulation say de na ane aban ye ya no mo destabilize the need. According to the IMF, it is not a long way to go. Mrs. Kozak underscored the need to boost domestic revenue, strengthen public financial management, and overall maintain fiscal discipline. Figures from the Bank of Ghana confirm the trend that as of June 2025, Ghana's total debt stock stood at 613 billion Ghana cedis, representing 43.8% of GDP. She further noted that the new administration should be able to take bold measures, including enacting a strong budget, tightening monetary policy, implementing public financial management reforms, and adjusting electricity tariffs, while continuing to make progress with debt restructuring effort. The International Monetary Fund and then they vindicate His Excellency Nana Addo and then abain wana mombia obutu ya Ghana for yenya bere anti nyomase na yegyina so riding on the propaganda of the NDC to say all manner of things against His Excellency Nana Addo. Vindication lies in the womb of time. But little do we know that His Excellency Nana Addo vindication will be coming just 8 months into the administration of this current government. Enunti Nana Addo buonye ene de IMF chirema ye ho ahenha aye no enye atofo se na aye bibi enye Dr. Siamo Bank of Ghana na aye bibi na emom no eye Ken Ofori-Atta na aye bibi because of the initiative your friend debt restructuring program. That was a fufu.
Example, that free abenya no so now $1 14 cedis 70 pesos. Now during the first quarter of the year no, January, February, March no, aban fufu no wabe no, True Bank of Ghana, omo almost 1.4 billion and the goo as so city nano so the bank city libijana and so 1.4 billion dollars na and to me am first di na name city no kwan na connect them 15 and eco 16 around March hono and I'm sorry you suntini ewura epumu no and almost charges almost the Bank of Ghana charges or the be more than the year hono na oshuma 10 tepo now $1 14 cedis 90 pesos. If you Bank of Ghana shall say excessive intervention, you know, $490 million and or to go more the few days na April no. You may ano the 420.5 million so be go nti akobasa no na cedi no dollar nebu bibia so bu a enti significantly no the amount Sydney then any other policy. More FIBA so TV3 key point. The better test anima we mo. So yes, the Bank of Ghana intervention in that Sydney besa for because and yet the before be honest name sikana your results on a coin pa. And I'm a Bank of Ghana again. And now that restructuring money yamana ye no. Entino. Amma Ghana, a capable bank and CBA now we are suspended that payment. The baby in yeah, you come up until the end of 2026. From 2027, you bet Chiapa, and the boss do so with Chia, Amanonekano. A Bank of Ghana and a Gina Ghana, Bermutia Kanamaya, and no one Chia. And the results, no, and I'm saying that restructuring is anything, and the Bank of Ghana in Chia. It's a dollar no ego, Nana Guvado Konoja, $2 million, $9 billion. Yeah, a first say Tony about $1.6 billion at account. You need an IMF and EU program, 6 months be $1 about $360 million. And the dollar no go to buy and gold production has also gone up. I'm not dollar ni yenya bebrebe and my Bank of Ghana to me and that or this can buy mo fidie ya so my sister station TV3 make I say makasa so won pre bebrebe so say sa dina na Bank of Ghana yen am what say e ko basa na akoya artificial na nka Bank of Ghana there isn't go any say 14.9 na fidie ni da no en ko mfa dollar ni bi so na enna ho ata da be ya enko akire e ko dollar ni say ya I fidie ni say ya e dia ho kire ba anka Bank of Ghana nko onye ni sa dan say obetu ogu mu boom ega emu bi yakasa obi anti doom or the over $800 million ebegu mu ema said the beya obema odibejina eho and a World Bank and IMF bar bonten beka say no
yes but look ehoni is very important. World Bank ne IMF coming in no now conversation no per the object of the gold board no and it's say say yebetimi enya gold no in terms of our reserves na yetimi are regulated to an extent say ye ton gold na ebema the needed forex ye here na afi dollar no I mean supply no etimi awo ho eno no ebeboa ama ye sidi no so ahoden no emu apeja so that I mean repatriation no enhye da nkoye bebresa ma ye sidi no enko from sa yes now concerns ne say what will be the issue untia I mean if we have the reserves in place na Bank of Ghana decided say or the sikani be ebeba na afi etimi aboa a sustaining ye sidi na what is really the challenge in here I mean Bank of Ghana together with the World Bank and the IMF one be must such a directive amma say BOG no a redraw ye hu say in terms of appreciation of the dollar
ni nyina simple ne say mpanyin say honam hininti na yijabore na honam ye ohina ede wo de atiti ujabore na honam ye ohina na wo de titi wo ho a emojaba eno ano no eni say gross international reserves no yet the bo you see the no buy. The Bank of Ghana no almost every 2 weeks bia no omo secondary forest market ebe $20 no. It no dey idea the bia wo ye. Na ni boom no ana na ye mu bi ye kan say we the boom ama see the free almost 15 about 10 no. Enye economically prudent.
Okay.
Yentia enye ne say wo ye sa na etusa so boni bebrebe ba. Ba ko ne de wo kan yi a man for a omudi sika private and remittances no ya omudi ba no omfa ma eni say no obi ni mobi Ghana ha meti UK mi ni mobi Ghana ha me disca brand so onye ade bi mreme na ene ma hu se sika na me de ba sika no mo ha na nke bia me de bra ma o de ato ade bi wo ha ye bibia ma no and then me this kind of a name of mediaba because an amsa dollar no call from Nintino import duties so echo from it's in Kasamanka minimum Nanka media the number. Let's say at the end can be any pacodis can buy me a ton hano. So the try.
Hello, Doc. Hello. Oh, so unfortunate. But you'll get back, Doc. Na yenino enwe sankomo. Kwame. Hello, Doc. But you'll temenka. Yes, Facha line no drop here.
Yes. Baby, and I made say the Inter Bank of Ghana and I World Bank and IMF the directors in the buy. No, make can mammy and pay never be baby, but a reduction in remittances. Yeah, okay. You know, no more bruises. Come the Bagana. No, I'm an only can answer no, okay. Let's say, oh, Kakao, or the Guma city now, what they call from say. But this will be a US. I know we will be one or seen Pacronia BB Mano. Or the dollar never buy many Pacro and I'm sitting in young or didn't now any when your value are open. Every consumer is rational. If you don't know all US and then go back to and the import duties are a coffin. But back to the other. But then honest what the Baswa Nisus and so on is a bit affected production level in this country.
Okay.
Production level
that means import no be high, right?
A very high.
Okay.
I'm a local production from local production from unemployment nebeba. Now Ghana's dependence on foreign market, you know, adoption. Omana otisano, when you the we need action. So what I say. Kobasa na import no so ye fopana the best is say among for more Ghana crowd mu local producers no omu producers will be anto because kobasa na foreign goods no it will appear in the eyes of Ghanaians say and you cheaper. It's the local production.
But Doc, is it not in contest to say, I mean, and no so be ensure say competitiveness ebe ye dwuma ye. And for instance, enkani anka ube here dollar bebre, e dia ko import raw material say we are producing company in Ghana. I mean, you would have to go through a lot of stress. And san when your dollar no crab. But say see no ewo sroa. What it means is that o value of import ne be conform. And wo wan kasa as a company no, I mean, o cost of production any idea nyina no eboa kabebon ebeko form enti eno no does not give you a competitive edge say also betimi a competing more na
minia decision be economic decision be obe make bia no your advantages ho but say disadvantages no ebe outweigh advantages na
okay
eno na ma we drop there we can fantastic nipa bi ye adwuma o Ghana ha omu raw materials omu input no omu important.
Exactly.
Yes. But uncle from Busa said omu yusu omu raw materials omu di adwuma nyina omu fa na Ghana no. Pam na doso. Pam na eboa economy no pa. So in fact, your ka ebe affect local production, any job creation. So we force you see no e ma na 15 no. And na we force na man about 10.
Exactly.
Sanka 15 no and now we are what is a born home by manage 15 wow and no yepa not na member ho again nanti ebera GRA Ghana Revenue Authority about on Trabeka say
yes
omu revenue projections no omu be lose 30% is no omu 100 cities omu 70 cities after say omu revenue projections are omu make here net was around 176 billion. They had over 180 something billion. And so they exceeded their revenue target. This year, almost omunya. It's just abandoning timing sang kasi kebi as all cancer to my pocket or to my own timmy. A cabinet so your own timmy. It will affect the same country that you are seeking to protect by pushing dollar from 15 to 10. So what I say. Again, and the most important of all what I have said, and they say that arrangement is not sustainable because June with the 800 million the boom. At the end of June, that year raises $11.1 billion. It is almost about 1 billion begum as sustainability around 10 cities. Raisers never say, and especially when 2027, you better ask the and then the attack the acquire debt and restructuring. Ama Eurobond, and then you suspended stock payment, you know. Ama you come in hurry when it comes to interest payments. and the debt service about from Pai in Jack said the first new piano boom. But 2027 will surely come. And now with the sense the carry you say, I'm your boy when someone's why I am a dollar and agent. That's a 2027 and the banners do Satamuku Tiao Kaka, and
the problem. But you're finding equilibrium. So what it means in say dollar no again some level of value. They said you say aqua could do 10.4 near DNA. A hard game because a brochure for this carbon no ever problem with it. Again, say ye jai my dollar no so cost to be brain seed na who are for ma. I mean, no ma aircraft near my dear ba almost we importers and so esofa. And where do we find the equilibrium? Because nanka minim say in economic terms, no say yesika no wa huadi moma. As I say, favor more, as I say, you need more as a country. But right now, no, it looks as if say and only mom no age na air question no as the more problems at the brain. And you know, I mean, definitely revenue shortfalls ebeba with GRA, remittances ebe form. Yet, I mean, the people are also saying say yes, and yema aye ye kakra. And where do we find the balance between the two so that say dollar ye cost bebre ebedru December, October, November na. If the phone so bano, I mean, they will not come back and say dollar no ako too high. For that reason, no, I mean, a see what any the account. And I know, say most often than not, what say sansem we are if the former no ekano. And to balance no, ebeye at which point, and I yet me so be a what on.
I like the word equilibrium now. They will use the fantastic. The equilibrium no, would have been around than 14.9 than. The Bank of Ghana and America between January and March, almost 1.4 billion and a buy for 3 months. And I keep a sustaining dollar now around 15 cents. So what I say, that I'm not dollar no pay because I'm saying that as it was not being engineered, it's not market no it will move more. The market no will move more. In fact, that disallocations and disequilibrium net and manema you know.
Okay.
Everything nama. A dama name kotorch. Tina me momu dear.
Hello, Doc. Oh, Debbie. Hello, Doc. Network here, I don't pay the body bed. Kwame, maybe I'm common here with the pad. Come on. Omapanyi Mahama eni Nsem-Pii shia ye e course no ana anope ye ne wo eche na ya breaking it down said ye be ya wa won ti ase no obetimi ati ase ye na etimi aboa wo enti eno ho enkomo ana ye guso a ye ne wo edi enti obetimi ajoin ye na wo de wadwenche ni nyina no e de aba dog bacha otimenka
yeah because